All right, so recently we were told that Andrew Cuomo is going to resign officially in about 2 weeks. And this woman right here, which I don't trust, she could be worse, Kathy Hochul, is going to replace the governorship. What is really going on? Is there sexual harassment? Who knows? Maybe they're just hyping it up because they're trying to get Cuomo and his brother out of the picture because of all of these so-called suspected deaths that he helped impose on in these nursing homes. There's a reason why states like New Jersey, New York, and many of these other ones had these very high death rates, which of course the establishment media is not telling you. I believe that he is resigning so he can basically reduce his risk of being prosecuted and investigated by a lot of these scandals. Every passing week, there's just more and more fishy things coming out about this so-called pandemic. Now, the question is, what's going to be looking for New York in the coming year or so? Could they have a Republican governor? Could Giuliani's son get the seat? I'm not sure. But going closer to home, a lot of people want to know, is going to come time for Sisolak? Well, it is looking less and less unpleasant for this guy. Now, I'm not sure about whether he imposed people in nursing homes. This guy, I have done a lot of research. A lot of you have told me in this channel. And by the way, if you're new, please subscribe. Please share this video because I have a good feeling YouTube is rigging the system so I don't get a lot of traffic. I have a good feeling that Sisolak has done a lot of scandals that has not been talked about in the last 20 years. And who knows? He could have his own nursing home scandals. In fact, a lot of people have accused him of profiting from the masks and the vaccines with the people like Jim Murren, the former CEO of MGM, who admits we changed the laws. And of course, they've bought a lot of masks from China. And as a result, this could show a clue that maybe that's why he has a Chinese wife. And people in the Nye County Commission, they've called him out. But the political correct police has pointed out that, ooh, this is racist. This is just so harmful. Look, when you see people call you racist, sexist, or whatever, that usually means that you are indicating the truth of what's going on. And I do believe more heat is going to come down on Sisolak because once the truth about the so-called you-know-what, I'm not going to say it because you know how YouTube is, comes true, then these people are not looking good. Not just Sisolak, but the legislature, who I've shared you in many of my videos. They don't fully answer my questions. They walk away. County commissions, a lot of these politicians, non-governmental organizations, unions, casinos, the list goes on. I'm pretty optimistic that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. So let's take a look at some of the news. Because I wouldn't be surprised if these people are going to fall down just like Cuomo. You can see that complete chaos at the Clark County School District as unvaccinated teachers forced away to 2-hour-plus lines in mandatory weekly COVID tests. It's just unbelievable. And you're standing there in the 95 to 105 degree heat. What a complete sham. CCSD psychological war on kids. QR codes sit need. Canceled lunches. Kicked out for having a runny nose. Yeah, and considering the fact some of these students, they don't even have a smartphone. It's becoming a tech dystopia. And what's the unintended consequences? Do you think people are buying this? Do you think people are really accepting the fact that they want to come to Vegas? Not really. It's looking pretty nasty. There's hardly any people in their convention shows. Most are under 25% attendance. This is going to have a huge long-term effect on the economy. But that's okay because they have the Federal Reserve. They can keep giving people money and pumping up all these public budgets, which, you know, I really don't believe a lot of things are now taxpayer funded. It's just dollars created out of nothing. Plus you have these very low interest rates that's propping up the national debt and the housing market. Makes you want to think that these casino elites really want to fail because they're controlled by the same establishment. That's the part of their plan, is to build up, control us, dominate, and then take it down one way or another. You can see here, look at the kind of lowlifes that come to the tourist sector, the Golden Nugget, all these fights. You know, these so-called joggers. And this is a really nice, classy hotel. You see all these kinds of lowlifes? Wow, unbelievable. Look at the way they're dressed and everything. 19 UNLV professors called for COVID vaccinations. Yeah, we'll see how their enrollment goes. You can see how, yeah, they have their parties, events, Obama, Martha's Vineyard. We were told about rising sea levels, Rashida Tlaib. What's going on? Culinary Union, like I told you many times, they're in bed with the casino elites. They're part of the political machine, the Harry Reid of the world. Yes, they're pushing their union members to get vaccinated. And I don't think a lot of them are going to buy into this, considering the fact that this portion number of them are Hispanic and they have lower than normal jab rates. There are more protests coming along August 14th, meet in front of the Planet Hollywood Casino. Please, if you can, make it there. Yes. Proof of vaccination coming here. You name it. The list just goes on and on. As you can see, as a result of all this eviction moratorium, you see violence. The landlord-tenant dispute leads to shooting because they want their unpaid rent. And of course, there's the issue with utilities, everything else. Now below here, you have Sylvia Lassos, the biggest shill part of the UNLV School of Law, pumping up illegal aliens. I'm going to expose her later on. I want to also point out that a lot of films that have been created, they talk about the current situation. They've been made several years ago. Elysium. This is a Matt Damon film. This is probably where we're headed. In 2054, Earth has become overpopulated with poverty. The rich and powerful live in Elysium, in outer space, and they can cure all the diseases and injuries. We could be moving to that direction. Yeah, I know the media and the film industry could give off propaganda, but they can give you a lot of good truths. Here's an exciting Facebook page. I want you to take a look at it. Up with Us. There's a school board meeting later tonight, Thursday, or actually this morning in the Clark County Government Center. There's a lot of these events going on. And stay tuned for more of these events. We got to show up like crazy. We got to speak out. The more we get out there, the more we will tumble their system. The Moderna stock just hit $470. A few days ago, it was just $400. Well, you get the whole picture. And I think it's just going to keep skyrocketing, folks. That's why one of the reasons why I'm bullish in the stock market long term. Now, we can have a correction, sure. I'm going to do videos about the financial markets later on. Now, these county commissioners, they're selling us out. This is an exciting video about BitChute. As you can see here, Mindy Robinson is speaking, and a lot of these videos in the county commissions, they're spreading all over the world. People are seeing what's going on in Clark County. I'm telling you, activism is growing. People are fighting. It makes you think we should have done this years ago. Mindy Robinson is one of the leading individuals who are fighting against the voter fraud, which, by the way, she did attend this Mike Lindell symposium event. As you can see here, this is a video features Mike Lindell. And then once you
or anything else,
got the judges in their back pockets.
Look at this, George Carlin. Oh my gosh, I've praised this guy and promoted this clip many times. This reflects everything that's going on. I've been telling you for so many years. Now, what are these scumbag politicians are doing? Basically, they know that they're losing support. They want to build their voting base. They're pandering. They want to distract and divide the country. They want voters who they can get cheap labor and power for these people. So you have this UNLV immigration clinic, this stooge, this SOB who lobbies to get your taxpayer dollars, Federal Reserve notes created so $500,000 is given to illegal aliens so they don't get deportation. What a complete failure. What a complete sham. And they had this meeting on April 22nd. I missed it. I can't believe it. They don't want the public to know. But they had to have this meeting, I guess, because a lot of us were focused on the legislature. So I'm asking them, why aren't you having more meetings like this? You should have more meetings so we can show up and blast it, you know what, out of you. By the way, in case if you haven't noticed, this guy is actually Jewish. And why is that important? Because he is comparing the mass deportations to the Holocaust, a complete sham. As you can see right here, Minority Affairs pandering. Now there's an Asian American Pacific Islander Commission. Yeah, that they're doing all this. Have you ever noticed why these people don't complain about poverty? And they don't also complain about how the police is going after them? Think about this. So much of our economy is dependent on modern women who refuse to get married and have kids before 25. Colleges, workplaces, pet stores, nightclubs, bars, strip clubs, phone apps, aid services, political campaigns, agendas, and more. Yeah. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of nuclear families. Main Street Casino. Now, this may give you some hope that we're reopening. I did a video about this a few months ago. The abandoned, deserted tour of Las Vegas. It's coming back. And guess what? We'll have to see if there's a recovery. But with all these shutdowns looming and everything, do you really think it's going to come back? Who knows? We could see the whole tourist economy shut down again. Give me a break. I talked to you about this Arizona state senator. Inappropriate acts. He was promoting sex education bill. Could we see pedophilia in Nevada or California? You tell me. Look at this. Pfizer CEO. Is he getting vaccinated? You tell me what's going on. Now, I made a video about a while back ago telling you how, and this was actually, believe it or not, the most viewed video I had on YouTube. Let me show you my YouTube channel. You can see here. Let's go right here. This is my most viewed YouTube channel video. You can see Las Vegas new homes suck. There are more articles talking about the headache that people who bought the new homes, Baser homes, are falling apart. They're having serious structural issues. I don't even know if it's safe to stand here. And I haven't been living in 2 years yet. So they are overpriced, $320,000. They lack character, they lack charm, they're car dependent. They have serious problems. There's a reason why I've been protesting these you-know-whats. Unbelievable. And yet, people can still continue to buy these homes because somehow they're cheaper than California. You know the kinds of people who are building these homes. I don't even know if many of these people are actually U.S. citizens. And last but not least, it's looking like a dead heat for the California recall election. Hard to believe because we were told for many, many years that California's a deep blue state. It's a lost cause. Well, think again. Now, why is that the case? Could these polls could be wrong? Could they be rigged? Anything is possible. Could they commit election fraud? Absolutely. Then again, the question is, if things are looking bad for Newsom and Cuomo, certainly there's a good sign that we could see Sisolak out of office. Here is the thing. I don't trust a lot of these candidates. I do believe, yes, they can shake things up. We're seeing poll numbers looking good for Elder. And not to mention, one of the reasons why the boost for recall has gone up, because we're seeing some Democrats really start to get into the picture. I do believe that it seems that a lot of Democrats are starting to have a different view of themselves. They're seeing a different alternative, realizing that they can do better, that they don't have to fall for a pro-Trump candidate. And not to mention the fact that, well, yeah, he seems to be like me, talking a lot about the investment markets, but I honestly don't trust him. I do feel like he's got an extra boost or support from outside forces. Who knows? He could be controlled opposition. I believe he has a lot of ties to this guy, Graham Stefan, who heard reports that he's been scamming a lot of people, although I don't know exactly. But anyway, a lot of these so-called promoters on YouTube, you don't know exactly what's going on. My question is, how does he have like 1.7 million subs? Considering the fact that I'm young like him, he's like only 9 months older than me, and I have still pretty good predictions. I still have a lot of amazing things to say. Seems like YouTube somehow is picking winners and losers, but perhaps he could provide a new message, an alternative view for the Democratic Party, or a lot of people say that he could attract a lot of moderates and win this thing. He could bring a lot of great ideas into the table, even if the recall effort doesn't really go anywhere. Now, other than that, I have some optimism about Larry Elder. I do feel he can shake things up, bring a lot of people into their base, but the question is, do you trust any of these people? It's hard for me to believe anyone these days. Anyone can absolutely be controlled opposition. But again, we need to shake things up. We need to bring the issues, and considering the fact that California on average is paying $1.30 more for a gallon of gasoline, it's bottom line proof to show that Newsom's leadership is not working.